Hello leaders, Patrick Jinks here, leadership and strategy coach and president of the Jinks Perspective. Today we're going to talk about the balancing act that is leadership. Let's cue it up. In last week's episode, I announced our exciting new podcast, The Leadership Window, which launches October 5th. Be on the lookout for it. We'll actually talk a little bit about this week's topic on that show, but I thought since these are challenges that I hear frequently in our coaching work, that I'd cover them here in this channel as well. The principle is one of balance over binary. In other words, instead of seeing every decision as an either or, leaders have to find a balance. There's usually more than one right answer to a problem or a creative pursuit. And this applies in general to our leadership styles. Let me quickly cover 5 examples. First, a leader should have humility or confidence. Which one? May seem obvious to you, but leaders struggle with this continuum. We certainly want to be humble and not arrogant. But many of my coachees have found that their teams are looking for more assertive leadership from them. People need to know that their leader is confident in the path forward. And sometimes a leader has to be assertive in sharing their point of view. The balancing act comes in the form of listening to and empowering others. Because leaders also have to have an open mind to the ideas, aspirations, and concerns of others before moving forward with a plan. So the balance, be humble and confident. The second continuum is compassion or accountability. Should CEOs be merciful and compassionate with low-performing staff who might be going through any number of personal challenges that are affecting their work? Of course. Should CEOs hold staff accountable for performance? Of course. This is the balancing act. Leaders can't afford to go all out on either end of the spectrum. We have to know how to be compassionate and hold people accountable at the same time. The third continuum is short-term to long-term. Now, this applies not only to the planning process, but also to vision casting. Leaders have to be able to cast an inspiring vision for the future, but we also have to be able to cast a clear vision for next week. This is what I call the horizon vision, what's right in front of us. It's not just the big ethereal vision statement that leaders are moving people toward. It's often simply the next step toward that vision. Next, the balancing act between big picture and detail. Yes, a CEO has to be about the big picture, but as Ron Heifetz and Marty Linsky would say in their work on adaptive leadership, leaders must be able to move in and out of the big picture. They talked about a leader's ability to be on the dance floor at times and to be on the balcony looking down at other times. This comes up in DISC assessments quite often. It's easy for a leader to look at their DISC assessment and say, well, it looks like I'm just a big picture person and I'm not good with details. Well, you better be. A leader has to be able to see the full picture through multiple lenses. And finally, one that we've talked about many times on this program, the balancing act between others and yourself. We've said many times that leadership isn't about you, it's about others. It's about helping others perform at their top level. But it also does have to be about you, because if a leader doesn't care for themselves, develop themselves, nurture, train themselves, challenge themselves, then they can't help others. So it has to be a balancing act. You get the point. Resist the temptation to make your leadership decisions a matter of either or. Usually, the challenge to leadership is that we have to be able to operate on a both and continuum. Where are you missing balance in your leadership? I want to encourage you to take some time with that question. Look for blind spots. And remember, balance over binary. That's the Jinks Perspective for this week. As always, if you'd like to explore ways that the Jinks Perspective can help you or your organization achieve greater clarity, simplicity, and alignment in your work, reach out and schedule a free discovery call with me by clicking the link that's in the video description below this video. Next, make sure you're a subscriber to this YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below, as well as the bell icon, so that you're notified whenever we drop new episodes. And finally, don't forget our brand new podcast, The Leadership Window, launches October 5th. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss this. See you here next week.